Ron Ryan, who is probably one of the most knowledgeable of fruit buyers, since one of the products that he makes must be made with the very finest of fruits. And we're going to talk about...
They almost fall apart in your hand. But for making sorbets, for people who might make ice creams or even sauces with raspberries, these are when the raspberries are really, really primo. And I can show you some other raspberries. And these are ones here that we personally picked ourselves yesterday over in the Belleville area. And these raspberries are much smaller. They don't have the eye appeal of the big California raspberries. You can see, I'll put one next to the other. As you can see, they're dwarfed. But they have... Okay, see, as you can see, the on the right here, the Belleville raspberry is much smaller, but it has more fruit to it, and that's what's most important when you're making a sorbet or if you're making ice cream. You're looking for something that has a good, strong fruit flavor. Eye appeal is insignificant, and if something is not ripe, then it's not going to have a very strong fruit flavor. So when we're looking for raspberries, we look for color as being the best indication as far as ripeness and total flavor.
Ron Ryan is with us this morning, and Ron, he makes and sells a sorbet, which is, I'm told, a requirement of really good fruits to make a sorbet. I didn't even know what a sorbet was until you walked in here this morning. But Ron, one thing I wanted to find out, for example, with a lemon, when you have to pick out a good lemon, somebody says, pick out a lemon for me, how do we do that?
Well, I think what a lot of the public is confused with, once again, is that we're talking about eye appeal. And as you can see here, I have on the monitor, we have three different lemons. The one in the middle is a Sunkist 140 lemon. The one on the far left is what they call a 235. Now, the 235 is a second-grade lemon. It has more blemishes on it. And the one all the way over the right, that's a Florida lemon. Now, the Florida lemon right now is about $10 a case. The one in the middle is about $27 a case. And the one all the way on the left, that's about $25 a case. That one right there on the right yields as much juice as the one all the way on the left.
My gosh.
And almost as much as the one in the very middle. The way you can differentiate at the grocery store if you're buying, let's say, a lemon, we have SK on the left, that's U.S. Fancy number 2, or excuse me, U.S. number 2. The one in the middle that says Sunkist, that's U.S. Grade A number 1.
Okay.
And essentially what you're paying for there is you're paying for a blemish-free lemon, but they all have the same amount of flavor.
Okay.
So sometimes a little confusing.
Okay, but the taste is there and the flavor is there.
It's got to be there.
Okay, let's talk about sorbet.
All right.
All right.
What do you like to know
Well, I
about
don't want to know how to make it in the first
Well, I'll
place.
tell you what. I'll show you how I'm going to make some raspberry sorbet.
Okay.
And these are some of the raspberries that we showed a little bit earlier. These are Driscoll raspberries, and these are very, very large and very, very flavorful.
Nice.
Try one?
Listen, I've been trying them.
Don't tell me you're dieting.
No, I was sampling before the show.
I know you were. Okay, well, we're going to take a couple
Into
of
the
these.
Cuisinart.
Into the Cuisinart, or food processor, or a Waring blender if you have one of those, or any kind of blender. We're going to put 2 of these. These are very, very expensive. And the price on raspberries fluctuates during the season. At the very, very beginning of the season, there's a lot of Washington State raspberries. They go out around, beginning of July or so. Now these Californias come in.
Yeah.
And they're very, very delightful. So we're going to put a couple of these raspberries. These are half pints. And then we're going to take some syrup. And I think as we talked earlier, basically what a syrup is, we took 16 fluid ounces, 1 pint of water.
Pint of water and a pint of sugar,
And
right?
a pint of sugar.
Okay.
And when we cook that, we let it boil at about 200 degrees for about 5 minutes. And that will yield about 3/4 of a quart of syrup. And we'll just add that right in here to our little
Put it right in the blender.
food processor. There we go. And the syrup is what enables it to get that small, sort of crystalline, like a crushed snowball texture. And that's really what you're seeking for in a sorbet.
Okay.
And then, most important,
The lemon juice.
fresh squeezed lemon juice.
How much?
Well, we're going to use about 8 ounces right here.
Okay.
And Cliff, very interesting, in the middle of the summer, when our lemon prices were very, very high.
It's leaking.
Oh, we got a leaker.
Whoops.
Here we go. We'll take that up.
Here
How about we put it right there?
Okay, put it right there.
Tell you one thing real
Okay.
quick about the lemons. The lemons, in the middle of the summertime, they cost about $25, $27 a case, and we can only get about 1.5 gallons of fresh lemon juice out of here. So as you can see, it becomes very, very expensive to make this. Okay, we're going to shoot this back on here real quick. I don't want to have any emergency situation here. And we'll put this right in here. Sure is easy, isn't
Blend
it?
it up, yeah. Zappa. You got it. Okay.
Take it out.
Now you're gonna pour that right in the canister here for your ice cream.
All right.
Yeah, that has a seam leaking there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right in there.
All right.
Okay.
Like
Now
so.
we normally would just mix this up,
Put it on like
put
so.
the top on,
Put the lid on.
just like ice cream from this point
Just
on.
like you're making ice cream. Exactly. All we have to
Gotcha.
do is add a little salt and a little ice, like so.
Yeah. And of course, the salt is important when you're making ice cream because,
It makes it colder. It makes
Very
the
much
ice
colder.
melt faster. Yes.
Okay.
And all we do is put our little lid on.
and
we're
this
finished.
is what we call the sorbet.
Right there.
Over here.
Yes, sir.
This-
Those are, I think, the 6 of our different flavors that we have right now on the market.
Okay, now, now you're making these sorbets like
Mm-hmm.
this, for example, in what, restaurants? Did
Well,
you
we
ask
have them
for
at
sorbet?
Yes, we have them at various restaurants, and also we have them right now going into hospitals. We're starting at St. Louis University Hospital.
What's the difference between a sorbet and a sherbet?
A sherbet is a cheap ice cream. It's about a 4% butterfat ice cream.
Okay.
And essentially, what our sorbets don't have any milk or butterfat.
So what you're saying to me is that this, if people are allergic to milk, this is an alternative.
Oh, certainly. And it's lower in calories than ice cream and yogurt.
Oh, it is?
Oh, yeah.
May I try? This will be the first time I've ever tried a sorbet.
Try the raspberry. That's
Wh-
what we're
wh-
really
which
proud
one of the flavors here?
Okay, we have blueberry, orange papaya, raspberry, peach, pineapple coconut, and strawberry.
Okay, now we're talking about, you use fresh fruit. What do you do in
Only.
the wintertime?
Change our flavors. We'll have lemon, grapefruit, cinnamon pear, orange papaya. We'll have cranberry during the Thanksgiving holiday, and we'll also do an apple nutmeg.
This is the raspberry, huh?
Oh, yes, sir. And it's made only with fresh fruit.
Great Scott. I mean, there's no comparison to this in sherbet, is there?
Really, sir. I think I'll put that raspberry up against any ice cream you can buy in the country.
That is sensational.
Really. And there's no preservatives, too, in it. That's the thing I really feel very proud of. We don't
Okay.
use any preservatives or chemicals.
Now we know what sorbet is. And we call... Yeah, where do you get sorbet?
Well, let's see. I'm glad you asked that.
I'm glad you asked me that, no? I understand they're going to
Like a shill, you know?
I understand the hospitals are going to put it in.
Yes, well, like I said,
Okay,
we're going to have
where-
the St.
where
Lucie
else?
Hospital. Well, we have at places like Deerberg's, the Epicure Food Store, Pfeiffer's Pastry Shop,
Okay.
Flotkin's Market. We have them in Belleville, places like Shopland and Eckert's, you know, the people with the fine peaches. We use their
betcha.
peaches. And we'll be using their apples this fall.
You bet your boots.
In fact, we pick our own.
Okay.
That way we know they're good.
Great. Ron, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Cliff.
Telling us not only how to make it, but also bringing it along so I could try it for the very first time.
Yeah, but you got to share that with some of the
Oh, yeah.
guys.
Well, I'll have the raspberry one. I can have the other monkey stuff. We'll be back with our closers right after this. Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
It really is delicious.